no-brainer MMA. What's going on, Dan?
Not much. I was showing some friends last night, and they wanted to braid my hair, so
Look at you.
I'll give you guys a nice little 360 at it real quick.
That's great.
Um,
You're like a
yeah,
fighter.
it was kind of fun.
Are you gonna get in the cage now?
What?
Are you gonna get in the cage now?
Well, I'm going for Sugar Sean on hopefully the next video when we hit 100 subs.
I know. Next week. I think it's gonna happen.
If it happens, like and sub, because I'll have the Sugar Sean hair. I'm not gonna dye it yet. I'm gonna wait till we get a bigger number. But
you're okay, right?
Because that does some permanent damage to my hair.
No,
I'm not gonna lie.
It's not gonna do
everybody fucking they were literally saying, yo, like my friend's girlfriend who was braiding my hair was saying, like, you shouldn't even what's it called?
What?
Dye it at all. Your hair is so like it's beautiful, like type deal. She's like, I wish I had your layers and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know shit about my hair, but hey, it's healthy as fuck. So let's get it.
I always said that about you. Healthiest hair in town.
Yeah, so the hair is coming soon. We just got to get 9 more subs. So just sub, and then I'll go to a salon and I will get a professional Sean O'Malley look for you guys.
You gotta rock it for like a while too.
I'll rock it for probably 2 fight weeks.
That'd be awesome.
Because I'll be able to wash my hair with it too.
Well, you know what you should do? You should wait until O'Malley fights and put it on for his fight weekend. You know what I mean?
I mean, hopefully we hit a good amount of subs and then we can do the rainbows for him.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Him and Dominic Cruz fighting in the future.
Yeah, he would throw us a retweet maybe if he saw that. He's like these fucking.
I would definitely add him. You know.
Check this out. All right, dude. Let's get into this.
Yeah.
Get into this rivalry. Impa Saginaw versus Sasha
Palatnikov.
Saginaw is 3-1 under the UFC umbrella, 2 wins on the Contender Series. Coming off his first career loss, that was a knockout of the year by Joaquin Buckley. But it was a close fight leading up to that ninja kick, you know. Mm-hmm. He's a really well-rounded fighter. He's got a plus 1.84 striking differential, averages 1.4 takedowns per 15 minutes and 83% takedown accuracy. He's taken on Sasha Palatnikov, who's coming off a UFC debut KO victory. That was fight of the night. He has a 6-2 record in his pro MMA career. He does have a loss to Munir the Sniper Lazez.
Yeah, he got knocked out by him.
Yeah, but I think so highly of Lazez. I really do. I think his striking's crazy. So I think that's kind of understandable, especially that early on in his MMA career. He had like 3 fights.
Show you all the braids a little bit more.
He's got really good striking and has great volume and can still hit hard. Saginaw won a close fight against Maki Pitolo, who is like a fan favorite, but nowhere near elite. You know, he's not elite competition.
He's solid competition, Coconut Bombs.
I mean,
Coconut Bombs was beating Julian Marquez before Julian Marquez.
Julian Marquez was on a 3-year layoff, so that's understandable for me.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna be talking more about Julian Marquez.
Yeah, we are for sure. But I love Coconut Bombs, Dan. I love him, man. Don't take it offense, but like I don't think he's top competition. The guy's got a lot of holes in his game. I think I'm going with Sasha in this one though. I think this fight's gonna stay on the feet, and I think he's gonna get the better of him.
Yeah. So first fight, first disagreement.
So many. Yeah, I know.
So the way I see it, the last fight Impa Saginaw had, he fought obviously Joaquin Buckley, and had the ninja kick knockout. But again, they were just trading before that. He's moving down to 170 for this fight. Also, he's got decent striking, really good technical strikes, and but he'll go wild. He'll start fucking trading with you like no problem. So like He definitely can improve on his defensive striking. This is something they both can do. Both of them aren't the best defensive strikers. They'll let strikes
Right.
go through. Um, he's like really open for the uppercut. I've been seeing through his tape. Closes the distance for clinch work and takedowns. Like he's a mixed martial artist. He can do a little bit of everything. And 3 takedowns in his Contender Series fight. Seems to prefer striking, and he's only been fighting since like 2019 or something like that. Something crazy. What's it called? He's got a solid like 3-2, like left hook to straight right combo, and then obviously a solid 1-2 as well, jab cross. Calf kicks, front kicks up the middle, and then I'll throw that like snapping overhand right a little while, but like it's like in a snapping motion, so it's nothing too crazy. So I do like his striking, and he's down to fucking just scrap. Sasha Politnikov, he's coming off a win over Luis Koske, in which he was a pretty sizable underdog in, and he's also an underdog in this fight. It was definitely an exciting bout, like you said, fight of the night at UFC 255. He finished a gassed out Koske in that fight, but that's because Koske rocked Politnikov in the first round and tried to go all out for the finish, and I think he wore himself out just a little too much. And then by the time the third round came around, he was done. He throws a lot of volume, but he's not too fast. Like I don't want to call him slow because that's an insult, but like he isn't like on the faster like echelon of 170ers. And he's got that questionable chin and the iffy striking defense. He gets hit a lot. He'll hit you and he'll hit you a lot. So I'm expecting a slugfest to start this fight off. This like Kasangana like was looked at as like a pretty big prospect in 2020. If you remember, 2020, they're like, watch this guy Impa Kasangana make a run, and it kind of got derailed a little bit with the getting knocked out, being on the opposite side of knockout of the year. You know, it's not fun to be there. It was definitely a big setback. I'm gonna take Kasangane in this fight, but definitely wouldn't advise betting on it because the fight is a lot closer than the odds makers are making it out to be.
Yeah, what are the odds,
one thing that I'm gonna be saying a lot in this is that the UFC matchmakers did really well on this card because I struggled choosing fighters.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Kasangane. With both fighters having iffy striking defense, I would bet that this fight does not go the distance. That's the bet I would make.
I'm all for that. Damn, you're right though, Dan. These are so tough.
Yeah, this was a tough one. I was like right off the bat, I'm like, fuck, this is hard.
Yeah.
You know?
This is a great card. Let me say that. There's 15 fights in like this is the first on the early prelims.
I like some of the early prelims and some of the fights on the main card, but we'll get to that.
I like a lot of them. I think it's gonna be.
And just to warn you guys, this fight card starts at noon on ABC.
Right.
So
get ready for
all New York. It's on channel 7. If you're somewhere else, I don't know what channel it is. Just it's ABC. It's everybody gets those channels, right?
Yeah.
So.
It just sucks though because they bleep out. They just like randomly silence if like a corner, like if anyone curses, like a cornerman or so. Like half the time you're watching a fight and it's just silent. You don't even hear anyone. It's so stupid.
Yeah, no, they're definitely running on like a 5-second delay or something.
Oh my god, it's the fucking worst. But you know, I'm gonna. It's whatever. You know, at least we get to watch it. All right.
Like I said, it is what it is.
Yeah, we're disagreeing. Dan's going Kasangane. I'm going with Sasha. And moving right into the next one. Dan, take it away.
All right, yeah. So the next fight we got William Knight versus Da-Un Jung. This fight is also really fucking hard. So yesterday when I was going through the tape and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Come on.
Oh.
Like William Knight, I've mentioned this before. His only loss is Stefan the Don Nchukwi. He was knocked out by him. He's a super, super stocky 205ers, super strong, super powerful, but yet still very green in his MMA career. He tends to leave his chin out there to be hit. So like there is some risk when fighting a more technical striker like Jung, but he has that ridiculous equalizing power as well. He likes to clinch, and I think he'll have the clinch advantage in the fight. He'll be able to outmuscle him. Like, not even like technique when it comes down to that. The other guy might have the perfect technique. I feel like William Knight's so strong, he could just outmuscle him in whatever position they're in, you know?
Yeah.
And over unders, he's got the control on that all day, I think. But I don't know how his gas tank will be over those rounds because he's just so powerful. And he is green, but he does have a solid ground game. He almost landed that Kimura against Kamer. And like, he can put it this way, he's so strong he'll take people down with his back against the fence, like and just powers out of bad situations. It's crazy.
Just
yeah, he's super explosive.
Yeah.
And Daun Jung, on the other hand, he's coming off a draw to Sam Alvey. It was a really close fight. What's it called? He has a 6-inch height and a 5-inch reach advantage. He's faced higher level competition as well. Daun Jung he fought Sam Alvey to a draw. He knocked out Slow Mike Rodriguez, Kadiz Ibrahimov, and that's his UFC career so far. Yeah. He hasn't lost since 2015. He's a solid guy. He's a solid he's one of my favorite Korean he's probably my favorite like Korean like prospect guy. He's definitely more of a striker and a boxer at that. His technical striking, he uses those feint straight punches. He throws some kicks, but it's mostly to set up his punches. He punches the head and body, has good speed and power. He uses his distance well. He's fast and uses, and like I see him just pressuring William Knight the whole time, like for the not 100% chance, but how I see the fight going, he pressures William Knight against the fence and keeps his distance with his height and reach, and just tries to pick him apart from the outside. His volume needs some work, and I think his volume will definitely come into question in this fight because you don't want to throw too much volume at William Knight or else you might get clipped and go to sleep. So I think he's gonna be a little bit tentative. He's got a nasty straight right hand. And a nasty straight elbow. Like it looks like a fucking just like a straight right hand. And it's not like this guy like loads up or anything. He just throws a straight right hand, like just like boom, right to the jaw. Knocked out Mike Rodriguez like that. He nailed Sam Alvey with like as picture perfect elbows as you can hit somebody with, and nasty elbows when breaking out of the clinch. So William Knight has to watch for that. So so that's kind of like breaking down the fight. I see just Jung having more ways to win. William Knight definitely has the power, but I think he's just gonna take him apart. But technique to Jung all day. You can possibly get a finish from both sides. Fight is razor thin, but because of the power that William Knight possesses, but I'm gonna give the edge to Jung. I think he's the more technical and better overall fighter at this point. But he's got the equalizer, William Knight.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on this one, Dan. William Knight is back. It's finally back after 2 canceled fights with Alonzo Menafield. He's 3-0.
Which would have been fireworks, by the way.
Would have been fireworks. He's 3-0 underneath the UFC umbrella. Very well rounded. Hits insanely hard, like you said. Has a plus 1.81 striking differential. 76% striking accuracy. Hits hard and accurate. You really can't beat that. Also averages a takedown around. Taking on Jung, who's 2-0-1 in the UFC, coming off that draw to Smiling Sam, who hasn't won a fight in 5 fights and is way past his prime. Jung is a stand-up guy, but he gets hit a lot. He's been outstruck in 2 out of his 3 UFC fights. But has a 5-inch reach advantage on Knight. I think this one's going to be rather one-sided, honestly. I had Knight beating Menafield, and I think this is definitely a step down in competition for him. So I'm going to go with Knight in this one.
Interesting. I mean, wins over Slow Mike, and he destroyed Sam Alvey in the third. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't. Sam Alvey's he's over, man. It was too close.
He's fighting on this card, I think.
He is, but he got outstruck by him too. I'm like, you can't do that. He's so passive.
I mean, like Sam Alvey just backs himself into a corner and just tries to counter you the whole time. That's what he does.
This might be the last time we see Smiling Sam, honestly. He won since 2018. He's going to be 6-fight losing streak. I mean, not winning. Like, he's got 1 draw in there, but still, he hasn't won.
Yeah.
All right, so we're disagreeing on that one. I'm going Knight. Dan's going Jung, and we're going to move right into the next one.
I will say this though, real quick, before we finish that off.
What?
The Sam Alvey we saw in the Jung fight is the best Sam Alvey we've seen in years, and that's like his back was against the wall.
I really think that's not saying much, honestly. I
mean, he's basically been around for forever, you know.
He's took a ton of damage and he's nowhere near what he was.
That's what I'm saying. He kind of bounced back into being the normal Sam Alvey.
Oh no.
We will see though.
Oh no. All right, we're disagreeing on that one. Next one is
I see a lot of disagreements coming.
Luis Saldana versus Jordan Griffin. Luis Saldana is coming off a really one-sided Contender Series KO victory. Has a 14-6 record and riding a 4-fight winning streak, and is regionally ranked 11th out of 990 people according to Tapology. 10 out of his 14 fights have been by finish. He's taken on Jordan Griffin 2 and 3 under the UFC umbrella. I'm not too sure what the UFC sees in Jordan Griffin. I'm not a fan of his. I never like I know he's like a really weird guy. He's okay at everything, but he's not great or good at anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's kind of just like a submission grappler.
Yeah, like,
he's not a great wrestler.
Yeah, he's not good. Yeah, he's just okay at a little bit of everything. He's got a minus 0.6 striking differential, 0.7 takedowns per fight. He is tough as nails, though. That's what he's got going for him. He's never been finished in the UFC, losing all by unanimous decision. But I think Saldana is able to take this one. I like this fight. This is like the most confident so far.
Yeah, I'm going to 100% agree with you. Saldana's coming off of that Contender Series win.
Crazy.
What's it called? And he landed a nasty front kick, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, it was a front kick. And then finished the fight from there. He was fighting at LFA before. He seems to really be. He like these fighters both have iffy records, but it seems like Saldana's really starting to hit his stride when it comes to like who he is as a fighter. He's a teammate of Casey Kenny, and in this Contender Series fight, he beat Vince Murdoch, who is a Team Alpha Male affiliate. So it's not like that guy was a slouch or anything.
Yeah.
Did I say he was a Casey Kenny affiliate? Yeah, so I'm saying that twice. He's got a really diverse striking set. Crisp jabs and kicks, both like he can kick with both legs. He can throw lead leg head kicks, like shit like that, like spinning shit, as the Diaz brothers call it. Like he's diverse in his striking game. Front kicks up the middle too. That will be big in this fight because the front kick up the middle might discourage Jordan Griffin from wanting to just change levels on him, because he'll eat that front kick to the face and get knocked out just like his last opponent. The front kick landed differently last fight, but I'm saying like that's a sick counter for that. He keeps his hands low, but he is sound defensively when it comes to like his stand-up game is polished. I would say it's pretty well polished. Yeah, and I love his variation. And he's got some boxing and kickboxing experience himself. And yeah, Jordan Griffin, his only real win in the UFC is over. His only win in the UFC is over TJ Brown, who took the fight on like a couple weeks notice. And I'm pretty sure TJ Brown absolutely dominated Jordan Griffin in the first round, and then Jordan Griffin pulled off a guillotine in the second. This is probably his last chance in the UFC, for the Rufus Sport native. That's one thing he might have on him if he is fighting out of Rufus Sport, but come on, like,
I don't see it.
if he wants to win, he has to take the fight to the ground, and I just don't think he's that good of he's good enough of a wrestler to do that. So I got Saldana by decision or possibly TKO. With like a volume striking TKO, you know?
Yeah.
He just keep the fight at distance and stuff the takedowns, and Saldana wins that fight all day.
Yeah, great. I totally agree. I think this is I like this fight. I'm gonna bet on this one. I don't know about the other one so far, but that one I am.
Yeah.
Right, cool. We're agreeing. We're both going Saldana. And moving right into the next one, Hunter Azor versus Jack Shore. Spoiler alert: Jack Shore may or may not be on Dan's prospect list.
He is on my prospect list, so you know where my pick it has to go now.
All right, take it away, Dan.
But it's tough, dude.
It is.
You want me to take it away?
Yeah, take it away.
All right, yeah. So Jack Shore, like I've told you guys, he's young. He's pretty young, 26 years old. Bantamweight Welsh fighter. And he's just a great grappler. And I've mentioned this before too. He is like the master of just taking the back of his opponents. That is what he that is what he does. You know, he just grabs your back and he is staying on your back for a minute, you know, like, and for a minute, I mean, until he chokes you out. His striking is decent, nothing too fast or powerful, but he does have, it's technical, you know? So like, it's not like he's out there throwing punches like this, like how you see some of these ground game fighters do. He'll throw technical striking to set up the level changes. Loves choke, like he's a choke specialist and just moves seamlessly on the ground, like when through transitions, through scrambles, through all that. And finished both of his fights in the UFC via rear naked choke. So he's an interesting prospect to watch, but Hunter Azor is definitely his toughest fight yet. He's 3-1 under the UFC umbrella, with his only loss being to Brian Kelleher. He's definitely more of a grappler as well. So this is kind of going to be a grappler versus grappler fight.
Right.
What's it called? He throws these hard looping strikes. Like he throws with some power and force behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna test the chin of Jack Shore. Like if Jack Shore is the prospect I think he's going to be, he's got to really be able to answer, like have an answer to this guy's the bombs this guy throws on the feet. I see his like. They've like I heard the commentator saying his cardio was great, but like I saw him vastly slow down, going into the third round in multiple fights.
Wait, you're talking about Azor, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not good.
Yeah, it's not very good.
No.
He will keep a frantic pace at the beginning, so Shore might lose the first round, but I think as the fight goes on, Shore like gains more and more momentum.
Yeah.
And yeah, what's it called? I mean, he does. I'll give him the striking advantage, actually. Yeah, like because he's quick and powerful,
mm-hmm.
and he loves throwing those body shots. So I'm very curious to see how the Welshman and Shore takes those. I think he wrestled that Montana State too.
Oh, that's cool.
Azor.
Yeah.
But he loads up on punches too much. It's not going to get him too far in the UFC. This is basically like seeing if Jack Shore can get past this guy.
Right.
So it's a really tough test for Jack Shore. Curious to see how he holds up, but I'm going to go slight edge to Jack Shore for sure. Not even slight edge. Edge to Jack Shore. He's one of the top prospects and could see him pull off a sub, like a third round sub type deal.
Right.
Um, he'll expertly grab the back and just fight the hands and sink that choke in. But depending on where his chin is at, Azor KO is definitely in play as well. So,
Yeah.
like I said, as the fight moves on, the advantage, sure, but I'm gonna take Shore overall in this fight.
Yeah.
But Azor might win the first round.
Right.
I'm expecting that.
Hunter Azor, you said he lost to that Brian Kelleher. That was at featherweight. So
I mean, Brian Kelleher is a bantamweight too. I think they just both didn't cut weight and they just fought.
For that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think they bulked up. I think they just both didn't cut as much weight. It was like
Kelleher moved up like permanently.
No, he's still a 135er, I believe.
Okay, I thought he moved up for good because he was. I don't know.
No, he's a 135er.
Oh, okay. He's well-rounded, like Dan said, plus 2.18 striking differential and averages 2.5 takedowns per fight with 76% takedown defense. Jack Shore, the undefeated Welsh fighter, 13-0, 2-0 in the UFC. Both wins coming by very one-sidedly. Showing off his striking. Also, his striking defense is crazy. He only absorbed 0.6 strikes per minute over his last 2 fights, and is averaging 5 takedowns per fight.
Yeah, it's hard to hit a guy when the guy's just suffocating you with his grappling.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's finished 12 fights, only going to decision once. Azor is going the distance far more often, with his last 4 fights going to the judges. But I still think that doesn't mean much. I don't really like his gas tank. Like Dan said, he kind of slows down as the fight goes on. I think that Jack Shore will be able to get it done. I think that he's superior on the ground and very underrated on the feet. And I'm going to ride with Dan. I'm going to go with Jack Shore in this one.
Yeah, I think he's only improving on his stand-up from here, too. His ground game is phenomenal. So
a lot of people's submission look terrible. You know what I mean? That are like big submission guys. They look terrible on the feet. He looks good. And
he's capable already. And I think I want to see him make the next step.
Yeah.
And show that he's the prospect that I chose, like one of the top 5 prospects that I chose.
You know what? This is a tough matchup for him, Dan. But
prospect video coming out soon, though. We're just perfecting it for you guys.
Yes, my baby.
It's literally our child.
Yes.
More of Connor's because he's editing it.
No, it's both of ours. We have split custody. We're going to agree on this one. Both going Jack Shore. Okay. How do you say this fucker's name?
Jorge Stanyo, I'm going to guess.
Jorge Stanyo.
This fight's gross.
The fight is gross. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, I want you. Please take this.
Yeah, the next one. Jorgen De Castro versus Joris Donho, who is, I'm going to get to him later on. I'm going to go with De Castro first, but he's very bad. I'm going to say it right now. Spoiler alert.
De Castro?
No. Donho. De Castro is 2-2 in the UFC. On a 2-fight losing streak to Greg Hardy and Carlos Felipe, both unanimous decision losses. He's one of those guys that's strictly a striker, but doesn't land many and absorbs more than he lands with a minus 0.7 striking differential.
Chin, though.
Yeah, hell of a chin.
He's got a solid chin.
Hell of a chin. For an older guy, too. He's pretty cool. He's taken on Donho, who is 0-1-1 in the UFC. Hasn't fought since September of 2016. But did have 3 fizzled fights over the span of that time. De Castro.
Yeah, but they were in like 2020, 2019, I think.
It was like 1 2017, 1 2019, 1 2020.
The 2017 one, he got like a really bad injury and had like a 2-year, 3-year layoff, I believe.
Jesus. Do you know what it was?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
It's never good to take
100%. He's a big guy, though. He's definitely got a pretty big size advantage.
He's huge.
But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, for sure. De Castro has never been finished in his pro career, only losing by decision. And same goes with Donho, actually. But there's the big difference there is the time Jorgen fought those fights. Like, he's fought those fights in 2020. You know, he's a far more active. and not 5 years ago. I think that conditioning will play a big part in that, because the only real way I think to get your conditioning up like that is to fight. That's like the ultimate test. That's how you keep your conditioning up. You got to fight often. And I haven't seen too many people make a 5-year comeback and win. So I'm going to go Castro. This one's going to be a weird fight, probably gross, but I think Castro is just better.
Yeah, like coming back into the fight game after the evolution of MMA over 5 years, it's half a fucking decade. Like that's a long time. His last fight was a draw to Christian Colombo. If any of y'all remember Christian Colombo, is he even still around?
Oh,
yeah, like I think
he was god awful, man.
yeah, he didn't look that good. Like I remember his fights back in like 2016. To be honest, this was the fight I did the least amount of preparation on because it's fucking gross in my opinion.
It totally is.
Sorry to the fighters if you think it's sorry to anybody that gets offended for saying this fight's gross. Not necessarily for Jorgen De Castro. I'm a fan. I like Jorgen De Castro. He's got a solid chin.
He does.
And it's hard himself. What's it called? Fucking De Castro, 6-2 record. Both of them have under 10 fights. De Castro's 33 years old. Nothing for a heavyweight. That's still young. And he's got some nasty, nasty leg kicks. I think he's just gonna fucking kick down on his legs, and he's gonna like maybe with the low calf kicks, and it's gonna be like a Conor McGregor thing situation where he's gonna be like, I can't walk, and then De Castro finishes him after like a round or two.
Maybe first round knockout, right?
What?
Did we see a first round knockout? You think?
Good chance. I mean, it's heavyweights going at it, so the chances of the first round knockout are a lot higher than normal.
I like that a lot in this fight.
Yeah, I could see a first round knockout for sure.
Yeah. All right, are we agreeing on that then?
Yeah, I think we're agreeing. Jorgen De Castro all day.
Yeah, Jorgen De Castro all day.
You can't bet on a guy who's been on a 5-year layoff.
And he wasn't that good to begin with. It's not like he was like this huge name, like Verdum coming back after all these years.
No, he lost to like iffy fighters.
Yeah, if that. All right, so we're agreeing on that one. We're both going Jorgen De Castro. Moving right to the next one, John Makdessi for Ignacio Bahamondes. Is that right?
Bahamondes.
Want
me to take it?
Yeah, take it away, Dan.
All right, so I'll start off with John Makdessi. I remember when John Makdessi made his debut. He had a nasty spinning back kick. I want to see what year he did it too. Spinning back fist. If I said kick, my bad. Yeah, but yeah, 2011 over Kyle Watson, he knocked him out with the spinning back fist, and I was like, damn, this guy's good. And I was like, he's got some nasty striking, and I always thought he was gonna be like a stud going forward, but it's just like anytime he fought somebody at like a pretty high level, he seems to be he's been knocked out multiple times too, to Lando Venata and Cowboy, back when Cowboy was the stud he is.
Right.
The issue with him is his lack of fighting recently. He's fought once a year for the last 4 years. So once in 2017, once in 2018, once in 2019, once in 2020. I mean, he is a savvy veteran. He's a TriStar and Rufus Sport affiliate. And he's like known for his striking, been around for forever. But like I said, he was never really able to separate himself from the pack with losses to fighters at like a good level. Has the experience advantage, but struggles taking some shots. Like he's been rocked a lot in his career. He's taken a good amount of damage.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like the UFC is grooming this fight for Ignacio Bahamondes. Now, Ignacio Bahamondes, let's get into him real quick. This guy was on my short list of. This guy was probably number 6 on my prospects to watch. He didn't make my top 5, so he wasn't included in the video. But damn, this guy could be fucking impressive. What's it called? This fight's it's a lightweight fight.
Right. Up and down.
What's it? Yeah, it's a lightweight fight. He's moving down. He's a 6'3" lightweight with a 75.5-inch reach. Dude. So he's got
7 inches.
A 7-inch height and 7-inch reach advantage on McDessie. Like, that's insane. 23 years old, and he's got great fundamental striking. Like, he has an amateur kickboxing record of 33-0-1. He's been fighting since he was a kid. He knew he wanted to, like, he wants to just be a champion type deal. He has some pretty decent takedown defense shown in his contender series, and a solid chin as well. He was able to eat like that guy's bigger punches. He stays composed under duress and like kind of resets really well. So like if somebody's coming at him with like a blitz barrage or something, like he'll like eat it, like slide off to the side, reset, and then get back into fighting. Viking. Is that even a word? It's like Viking. I hope that's not a slur. Because I was about to say kicks. Yeah, his kicks are very effective. Striking overall at a very high level. He mixes up his striking seamlessly, like punches, kicks. And he just throws them fundamentally perfect. Like this, like I said, like no wind up or nothing. Straight jab, straight right hand, and it's got power. And his kicks are just seamless, you know, like, and like he'll just throw these like kind of ridiculous combos at you, and you'll be like, "What the fuck is," you know? So yeah, I think this is another case of the UFC just taking a veteran and challenging them against a highly regarded prospect. And I got Bahamondes all day. This is one of the fights I'm almost gonna lock this. I'm that confident in Bahamondes. He's gonna just keep that fight at distance and just pick him apart and get a TKO or win a unanimous decision. I don't think McDessie beats him.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna screw with the people watching this right now. After Dan locked that one, I'm gonna disagree with Dan.
Wow.
Yeah, John McDessie, 10-7 UFC career, coming off a unanimous decision loss to Francisco Trinaldo. Only has 4 fights since 2017, like Dan said, going 3-1 though. Really great striking, and hasn't been outstruck at a fight since 2012. Has 70% striking defense, 88% takedown defense, stuffing 8 out of 9 of his last takedowns over the course.
Ignacio ain't taking him down though. This is gonna be a straight stand-up fight.
Yeah, that's true. Last 4 takedowns over the course of his last 4 fights. He's taken on Ignacio Bahamondes, which I just love his last name. One of the coolest last names. Does he have a nickname too? The Bahamondes. I like
La Jula.
Yeah, nah, I don't like it.
He's only 23. This guy's got some serious potential.
Very green, making his UFC debut.
I don't think he's that green. He's got so much kickboxing experience.
Well, he's green to MMA.
He's green to MMA, but like this is gonna be a striking battle.
Yeah. He's coming off a brutal contender series KO, and is dropping
brutal. Oh my god, what he did to that guy.
He's dropping down in weight to 155. He's got that 7-inch reach advantage. Hasn't fought the greatest competition in MMA, but like 23 years old, he's got so much room to grow. And both guys love to just throw hands. They love to strike, staying on this fight, like we said, staying on the feet for sure. But I am gonna I'm gonna go with the veteran in this one, which is McDessie. Oh, you're back.
All right, yeah, we got a little iffy on the connection
No,
right
that's fine.
there.
You don't do anything. I just I went with Mac Desi.
Yeah, I heard you. Your screen
Oh,
was just locked, so I was just like,
oh, okay, all good.
um, yeah. I mean, McDessie definitely has the experience for sure,
Right,
but like, I think Ignacio isn't like a real like when it comes to a 23-year-old prospect, you're like, oh, they're gonna be super green in these type of areas. But like he's fighting a strictly stand-up guy, and it's
right.
gonna play right into like the UFC set this matchup I feel like to have Bahamondes win,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah,
I
but
mean, and that doesn't always work.
no, it doesn't. I just I totally get where you're coming from, 100%. But I'm a little if the only I'm going to tell you why I'm a little iffy. It's just like his UFC debut and like he's dropping down in weight. It's like
I mean, he's fighting at his natural weight. He weighed in at like 167 at his contender series fight. So
yeah.
he's a natural lightweight at
He
six
might
foot
be
three.
one of those guys that we should that we talked about in our weight division video that could possibly fight at 165. You know, he could be one of those potential people because it was weird that he weighed in like a pound and a half under. I did see that 168.
Yeah, like
He might be somewhere in the middle. So I actually I'm a little confused about where he stands as of right now.
I think he's a natural lightweight. And I think he just went up and was like, fuck it, I'll take the contender series at welterweight and knock this guy out.
Yeah, no, he's fought his whole career at welterweight though.
Oh, he has?
Yeah,
Interesting. Well, either way, I think he pulls it off.
yeah. It's this one's close. The odds makers are saying it's close, and I get why people would want to pick Ignacio just because his ceiling I think is so much higher than Mac Desi's. But it's a big step I think. But we're
Oh
gonna
yeah, this is testing where he's at, you know?
mhm. So
But I love running with the younger prospects. You
right.
guys know that.
Me
I
too.
like to take like, you know, I'll take a chance. I like this one. I feel I'm pretty confident in, so I don't even think I'm taking that big of a chance. I think Mac Desi's over the hill too.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see where both stand after this weekend. We're disagreeing on this one. I'm going Mac Desi, Dan's going Bahamondes.
We
And
disagreed on a lot so far.
yeah, I think we only agreed on like one or two. Next one, Norma Dumont versus Aaron Blanchfield.
Yep.
Is that it? Norma Dumont made her UFC debut against Megan Anderson back in 2020, but it was at featherweight and she lost via KO.
Yep.
Then went on to beat Ashley Evans Smith in a really one-sided fight.
Destroyed her.
Yeah, she was terrible.
She looked fantastic.
She did.
But she did come in almost 5 pounds over, or 3.5 pounds over.
Pounds, yeah. She's taken on UFC newcomer Aaron Blanchfield, who's 6-1 record, only 21 years old. She has fought UFC caliber competition. She beat Kay Hansen and she lost to Tracy Cortez before even making her UFC debut.
Split decision though to Tracy Cortez.
And I think highly of Tracy Cortez. Big fan.
Tracy Cortez is fucking nasty.
Nasty. Dumont,
she's ranked?
No, I don't think so yet. Dumont did weigh in close to 4 pounds over, like Dan said, in her last weigh-in, which really worries me. Both fighters are really well-rounded. This fight's very close, but making a UFC debut against someone like Dumont on this young of an age worries me. So I'm going to go with Dumont in this one.
I 100% feel where you're coming from.
Right.
Norma Dumont looked fantastic in her win over Ashley Evans Smith. She got 30-26s across all judges' scorecards. Like it was pure domination.
For sure.
What's it called? And obviously she had the knockout loss to Megan Anderson at featherweight before dropping down. But it seems like the weight cutting issue is a problem for her. But like her cardio looked good, and I think if I'm remembering correctly, I watched so much fucking tape yesterday. Her third round fucking was her most impressive round over Ashley Evans Smith. So her cardio is still there, you know, even with it getting weight cut.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Blanchfield, she's only taking this fight on 1 week's notice and is 21 years old. And she's a flyweight uh, taking a short notice fight against a huge bantamweight. Um, but she's looked really impressive in the fights that she's had so far. She had a loss to Tracy Cortez, but she was only 19 at the time. She is a hell of a prospect to watch. Um, if you, I don't know if you saw her fight against Victoria Leonardo, but she landed a nasty head kick on her. She is a possible future star, I believe. But in this fight situation, like she's kind of got everything stacked against her. She's fighting against a significantly bigger opponent. She's fighting on 1 week's notice, and she's 21 years old. Like it's a lot. And this is her UFC debut. Like it's tough. But I'm gonna go. This is probably my biggest reach of the night, maybe. But I kind of see an upset brewing in this. Even though everything is working against her, I feel like Blanchfield is an absolute stud of a prospect and could be
Yes.
like a great fighter for years to come. There's a good I would say like I don't know, man. Like I wouldn't bet on this fight like at all. If anything, throw some money, a couple bucks on Blanchfield's direction.
The plus 2.
But again, yeah, 21 years old, stud of a prospect to watch, win or lose. I'm gonna take a reach and pick her. I might end up regretting it, but I'm letting you know that now. This is a
Right.
reach, but I don't know. I kind of just see her winning.
Yeah, dude, I get why you're saying that because she's really is a stud at 21 years old.
Like
No.
she's looked amazing in her fights.
In this fight, even if she loses, she still has all that momentum at 125. She has all she can.
Yeah, she's gonna go drop back down to her normal weight class,
Right. And if she can pull this off, that's huge. She'll be facing crazy competition at 125 if she can.
Oh yeah, like maybe like a fight against Macy Barber type deal.
Yeah. I love that pick for you though. That's a dog right there, and I love it.
Yeah, I had to go with a dog in that one.
Love it. Okay, I'm going Dumont. Dan's going with the dog, Blanchfield. Moving right into the next, Scott Holtzman, Mateus Gamrot. You want to do that one, Dan?
Yeah, I can take it.
There you go, kid.
Yeah, so Gamrot, let me pull up his thing real quick. In his last fight, he's got a 17-1 record. His last fight was in my opinion, I thought he won the fight against Guram Kutaladze. But that's just my personal opinion. It was a close fight. But he took him down a bunch.
5 times.
Yeah, he took him down a bunch in that
And
fight.
He's got him.
What?
And outstruck him.
Yeah. So like, I think he won the fight.
Yeah.
Anyway, the UFC is really trying to build up these Polish fighters, and they should because they got some stud Polish fighters in a bunch of people. Like
there's a champ.
Yeah, Polish powerhouse, Jan Blachowicz, Joanna. Like they kind of set the stage for just Polish MMA. But this guy's been fighting professionally since 2012, and seems to be making his UFC debut. Like he seemed to make his UFC debut at like the perfect time. And Guram Kutaladze is a fucking solid fighter. You don't want to fuck with these Georgian guys. I'm telling you.
True.
But Gamrot fights. He partially trains out of ATT, as well as his gym in Poland. So, I mean, put it this way. Like, I think he's in a really good spot right now. Like, he didn't rush his UFC debut. He came in when he thought he was ready. Scott Holtzman, on the other hand, at 37 years old, it kind of seems like the UFC's just feel like feeding him to Gamrot to get the win, He's coming off of a pretty brutal knockout loss, and that spinning back
Really
fist
brutal.
to Beneil Dariush. That shit was nasty.
Oh my god.
It was he hit him with his forearm, right?
Yeah. Dude, if you
Yeah.
want to rewatch just that fight. It shows you like how good Beneil Dariush actually still is. In my opinion, I know a lot of people.
Still, I think he's rising.
Yeah, exactly. He's getting older and he's getting better, and he's gonna give Tony Ferguson a hell of a fight. But
I can't wait for that card. I can't wait to do that card.
yeah, I'm sorry. Keep going.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Big time.
I'll make this one shorter than a lot of my other ones. I think Amrot just takes a fairly one-sided unanimous decision. He takes him down, beats him up, maintains top control.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Dan. And I'm a fan of Scott Holtzman actually too. Scott Holtzman has a 7-4 UFC record, 3-2 in his last 5, losing his last outing by that vicious KO we just mentioned. He showed a lot of promise a couple of years ago, but more recently kind of stopped using his takedowns in his last 3 fights, only recording 3 takedowns and in his last 5. And before that, he recorded 17 in the 5 before that. So he really stopped utilizing his wrestling. He's taken on Gamrot, 17-1 MMA record, losing that. I'm not even going to say he won that fight. That fight was all him. He got robbed. That's a rob.
I'm happy you agree with me.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't like using robbery a lot because a lot of times I'm like, oh, it's a split decision. It can go either way, whatever. But that was a robbery. I think that Gamrot could rise the ranks soon. He's taken on great competition outside the UFC. I think Holtzman is very underrated. I love the guy, but I got to go with Gamrot in this one.
Yeah, Gamrot's just like a guy to watch. Like, he's a little bit older, but he's definitely like another prospect to watch. His wrestling is just nasty.
Yeah, great fighter. We're agreeing.
I'm not even gonna go into his technical wrestling abilities because we're just gonna fucking ramble on for another 10 minutes on this fight. But yeah,
but that's great. We're agreeing. Mateus Gamrot, we're both going with him. Moving right into the next, Jim Miller versus Joe Solecki. Jim Miller, UFC veteran. I don't even know how many UFC fights this guy has. He's been fighting since 2008, has 48 career fights, and is 3-2 in his last 5, and coming off a loss to Vince Pichel. He's taken on Joe Solecki, undefeated in UFC, 3-0. Both fighters are really grappling heavy, both with some solid wrestling, but I give the advantage to Solecki. And I think Solecki is far better with the stand-up. He's got a plus 2.69 striking differential, 74% striking accuracy over the course of his last 3 fights. I think Solecki takes this one-sidedly. The only threat Jim Miller seems to have anymore is he catches someone in a sub. But other than that, I think he's dropped off tremendously. I'm going with Solecki all day in this.
Yeah. So before I make my pick, let me just give some love to Jim Miller real quick because he is he's a machine.
Yes.
In the UFC, he's had 7 fight of the nights. He's tied Donald Cerrone with the most bouts in UFC history with 36. Most bouts in lightweight division history at 33. Most wins in the lightweight division at 19. And third most wins in the UFC history, like overall weight classes at 21. Which is that's pretty damn good. Like that's a great resume. He's had a great career. Also has the second most stoppage wins in lightweight history at 12.
Crazy.
And most submission wins in the UFC lightweight history at 9. Bronx is going to end up breaking that record. But anyway, that was my love and farewell speech to Jim Miller because I completely agree with you. I feel like he's coming off of that loss to Vince Pichel. Vince Pichel. There we go. I have trouble speaking sometimes. And has lost 2 of his 3 last fights. Definitely like headed towards retirement. You know, he's over the hill. He has definitely super notable wins in his career, and like his experience factor actually could be a huge factor in this fight. You know, like he's a crafty vet, and who knows like what he could pull off. Um, but with the punishment that he's taken and all that stuff, I get it. He's got all these tricks up his sleeves and stuff still, but like again, this is what the UFC likes to do. It's a higher paid vet that they're trying to get to lose more so they can cut him and then have a younger guy take his place. Joe Solecki, nasty jiu-jitsu. Like you said, this is going to be a grappling heavy fight. He's only 27 years old and has already beaten a proven UFC veteran in Matt Wyman. I think this is a similar fight in that regard. I really see this fight as passing of the torch from Jim Miller to Joe Solecki. I feel like Solecki could be like the next Jim Miller type guy, just a nasty good guy with this nasty ground game. Solecki is undefeated underneath the UFC umbrella, and I'm very confident that that's not going to change after this upcoming Saturday afternoon.
Total afternoon at noon. Tune in. But Dan, I totally agree. Beautiful.
All right.
Yeah, we're both going Joe Solecki in that one. And
all right, we're back to agreeing.
Yeah, we're gonna move into the next one. Mike Perry versus Daniel Rodriguez. Dan, all you, my man.
All right. So we got Mike Perry. He is a character to say the least. Kind of a like come on, dude. Like with
dude, he's a
I don't you guys know all about Mike Perry. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's also sometimes like, yo, chill out. Don't be saying that shit. You know, and you guys know what I'm saying when I'm saying that, you know?
Calling him a character is an insult to characters. This guy,
actually, yeah,
this guy's
like,
a weirdo.
He's a weirdo.
And an idiot. In that matter.
Yeah, like I don't like that's just me talking about his personality. Let's get into his fighting.
Right.
He's lost 3 of his last 4, with his only win being over Mickey Gall. He kind of got destroyed by Tim Means in his last fight.
He did.
Yeah.
The dirty
his stand-up is like his stand-up was pretty good, and I feel like it's just kind of sloping downhill, but his ground, actually, I don't know, maybe it's staying the same and other guys are getting better.
Could be.
I don't know. It's just like I he has wins over Paul Felder. He has wins over fucking Cowboy Oliveira on the feet, you know? What happened? Why is he getting outstruck by guys who aren't on that level now? I don't get it. Maybe it's because he moved. I don't know.
Dude, he got outstruck. Tim Means doubled his production in that fight.
Was there a takedown?
Let me look right now. Looking right now. Hang on, let me see.
While Connor looks that up, one thing I can compliment Mike. Wait, what?
Mike Perry had 1 takedown, but the striking was 64 to 128.
Yeah, so the guy literally doubled.
He doubled.
Exactly doubled his striking output. But yeah, Mike Perry actually has been really improving on his ground game. If you guys haven't noticed, I watched, he had a submission underground fight that he won back in early 2020 that was pretty fucking cool. These people taking people down now. He's not just a fucking brawling type of fighter anymore. He's super tough, and he likes to just take and throw punches, you know? So this fight's a real wild card for me. Have I said stay away from this fight yet?
No.
This is my my biggest stay away from fight of the night. Actually, no, it's not actually. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Daniel Rodriguez is the man.
Daniel Rodriguez, he's just gotta stay composed and use his fight IQ the right way.
Yeah.
Avoid Mike Perry's grappling game, actually, you know, and just stand with him, and he should be able to pull out a win because he just out techniques Perry, you know.
Totally.
stick with your fundamentals, like stick with the solid straight punches, your jab, your right cross, like obviously throw those combos, and he's got some nice combos, but like the only like if he gets into a brawl with Mike Perry, both of them could get knocked out. So that's why I'm saying this fight's like is kind of stay away from for me. Um so and another question is who knows what Mike Perry will show up like? Like which Mike Perry will we see? Will we see the Mike Perry that beat Paul Felder and beat um Cowboy Oliveira? Or are we going to see the one that got destroyed by Tim Means?
You got to go with the most recent history, I think.
Yeah,
fight over
but
Tim.
then again, he could have made some changes. Like I know he went to like,
but his corner is like just his girlfriend. Like, and he doesn't have a gym. He just goes.
I don't know if he's still doing that. I didn't honestly look into that enough. I should actually look.
But he doesn't have a gym. Isn't he like just traveling around? Like just he doesn't like he trains by himself mostly. I think he says.
I mean, he's got a couple people that
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't think highly of him at all. Daniel Rodriguez, though, 4-1 in his last 5.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, fucking. I guess I'll take Daniel Rodriguez, right. But honest, if Mike Perry shows up and actually looks good, I could see like a split decision. I see this fight maybe going to split decision. Oh, I don't know. Stay away from this fight. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with Mike Perry. He's a wild card. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. You take the floor.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna agree with you though. But I'm a lot more confident in this. I like Daniel Rodriguez in this. 4-1 his last 5, coming off a loss from Nicholas Dalby. But he outstruck Dalby in that by 32 strikes and stuffed 5 more takedowns than him. So it really could have gone either way, and I gave it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez is a really high-level volume striker, and even has a nice ground game that's kind of underrated. And he uses it too. He's not afraid to use it at all. He's only been
wait. You're saying you think he won his last fight?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I had Dalby beating him.
Yeah, I don't know. He just he outstruck him, and it's not like Dalby took him down or got a knockdown.
I was pissed because I had money on Daniel Rodriguez to win that fight, and I was like, "Fuck, he definitely lost." So like
it was a lot. It was close. It was a split decision, wasn't it?
It was unanimous. I'm pretty sure.
What the fuck's that about? I don't agree with that at all. But anyway, he's only been taken down once in his UFC career, but isn't afraid to take the fight to the ground. I've never bought into the Mike Perry hype, and honestly, he's gone down tremendously as of recently. And I know like that Paul Felder fight, he looks so good, but like I don't think he's the same guy. I think like he's got some fucking mental issues that he's got to work out before you can even step foot in a cage, first of all. But I'm gonna go with Daniel Rodriguez in this one. I like Daniel Rodriguez in this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I like either of them in this because this fight is a wild card. It's like I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't advise anybody to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I would advise
because I don't know which version of Mike Perry will show up.
I'm sure. I'm gonna tell the people you might want to put some money on Rodriguez in this. I'm telling you, Mike Perry does not have it anymore. He's just there because he's there for the fucking page views. So people.
Yeah, but this could be his like the UFC might cut him after this because of how much like shit he gets into outside of the UFC. Sure. His back's against the wall, so who knows? Maybe he's like. That's why I'm saying I don't know which Mike Perry's going to show up.
A cage dog is a cornered dog is a deadly dog. What is it?
A cornered animal is a dangerous animal.
That's it. That's what it is. I fucked it up. Okay, but we're both agreeing.
And Mike Perry is a fucking animal.
He is.
At heart. So that means double for Mike Perry. So if he feels like his UFC career is in jeopardy, we might see the best Mike Perry we've ever seen. So that's why I'm saying stay away from it because I don't fucking know.
All right, that's fair. Dan, We're both agreeing. We're going Dane Rodriguez, moving right into the next. Nina Anasaroff versus Mackenzie Dern. Dan, do you want to take this one? Or you want me to do it?
Did I take the last one?
I don't remember, honestly.
You take the floor.
Oh, you take it. Come on, you take it. I know you like it.
You got it. You got it.
Oh, okay. Anasaroff 4-1 in her last 5. Coming up the loss to Tatiana Suarez, who I know Dan also thinks very highly of, and is a
future champ.
And she is a friend of the podcast.
Yeah, we were actually having a conversation on Twitter.
Yeah.
I told her, future champ queen. Nobody could keep up with that. Nobody could keep up with that. Her wrestling / grappling in the strawweight division.
We should clip this and send it to her on Twitter. She would much appreciate that. But she just got and Nina Anasaroff got just outclassed. Ansaroff, yeah. She was just outclassed in that Tatiana Suarez fight.
But Tatiana Suarez is, I think, a top 5.
She's Anasaroff has 77% takedown defense, but has been taken down 7 times in her last 3 fights. She's taken on Mackenzie Dern.
A lot of them are from Tatiana, though.
That's fair. Do you know how many?
Not exactly. She actually had a solid 3rd round against Suarez. Obviously she lost the fight pretty one-sidedly, but
Randa Marcos took her down once, Claudia Gadeller took her down twice, and then Tatiana Suarez took her down 4 times. What was I saying? Mackenzie Dern, BJJ specialist, 4-1 in her last 5, riding a 3-fight winning streak. Has started to develop her striking too, far ahead of what it used to be. It used to be trash, and it's actually coming along pretty well. Really developed.
Jason Perillo.
Yeah. She's definitely more well-rounded now. I really think she progressed her game. I think the younger fighter in Mackenzie Dern is able to take this one to the ground and get it done versus Anasaroff. But also, I'm going to say it again. I've been repeating myself. This is a close fight. This is a very close fight. But yeah, I'm going to go with, I think the ceiling on Dern is much higher. I like Dern a lot in this.
Yeah. This, again, I'll say this again, the UFC matchmakers did a fantastic job because this fight is very, very hard to call. We got Nina Ansaroff, the wife of Amanda Nunes, and this is her first fight after welcoming a child with her. So she's got the lioness in her corner. First off, I'm very happy for their family. They got a kid, and they're just living the dream, financially stable, at first I was a little concerned of her lack of activity, but she was having a kid and she has the GOAT working with her, literally has the GOAT working probably one-on-one with her for all of her, she's gonna I don't think ring rust will be anything in this will have anything to do in this fight. Her keys to victory are definitely through her counter striking. I mean, Mackenzie Dern's new striking ability is kind of blitz heavy, and Nina Ansaroff has really good counter strikes. Again, she won that 3rd round against Tatiana Suarez. And she looked good in it. She definitely outstruck her. She has great fundamental techniques when it comes to striking. Mm-hmm. And Dern, on the other hand, when it comes to her striking is getting better.
Right.
But it's not super, super technical like Ansaroff. So if the fight stays on the feet, advantage goes to Nina Ansaroff all day. But obviously on the ground, you have Mackenzie Dern, who's one of the highest touted Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners in the world. Men, women, I don't care. She's just amazing on the ground.
Yep.
Now that she's working with Jason Perillo, her stand-up is improving. Her only loss in her MMA career is to Amanda Hebos. Much love. Mm-hmm. If she manages to get the fight to the ground, I think she could pull off a submission, but it's going to be a tough task. Nina Ansaroff has some nice, Like Mackenzie Dern isn't Tatiana Suarez when it comes to taking the fight to the ground,
Right.
you know? But like I said, the matchmakers are making it really hard to predict these fight outcomes. This fight is like 50-50, maybe 60-40 on Ansaroff.
Mm-hmm.
But she's 35 and just might not be as hungry as the young and up and coming Mackenzie Dern, who's just improving and improving.
Yeah.
It might be a little too much too soon, but I feel like Ansaroff wins this fight like 6 times out of 10, but I do think that Dern take. I think I'm gonna take Dern.
Dude, I get where you're coming from. I'm going to, like we said, what do we always say? The younger guy or girl that's like rising, that has a higher ceiling is, usually the one that we ended up choosing. And, I know you said ring rust isn't a thing, but, she did have a kid. And I do think it's been a couple of years. It's not like she was like some crazy, like she's nowhere near the level of her counterpart of Amanda Nunes. You know what I mean?
I mean, no, but she is the 5th ranked woman strawweight.
That's true. I
do think honestly, no, I'm gonna take Ansaroff in this fight. I think Mackenzie Dern isn't gonna really be able to take her down very much. I'm gonna go 29-28 Ansaroff. Final lock. This fight, as you can see, I'm flip-flopping on this fight so hard because the matchmaking did, like, props to the UFC matchmaking. They did a great job. This fight is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But we both Ansaroff by decision.
Yeah, we're both saying, but we both agree Ansaroff has the advantage on the feet and Mackenzie Dern with the advantage on the ground. We're split on this one. I'm going Dern. Dan's going Nina Ansaroff. Why can't I say her name?
Nina Ansaroff.
Ansaroff. Fucking A. All right.
But what's it called? Like, just put it this way, in another regard. Mackenzie Dern stood up, like, Nina Ansaroff's stand-up is levels beyond Vina Jandiroba. And Mackenzie Dern beat Vina Jandiroba on the feet, but, like, it wasn't any domination, Jandiroba took a round.
Yeah,
Jandiroba,
sure.
or however you say it. But, yeah, I'm going to take Ansaroff. I think this is a little bit too much for Mackenzie Dern because she is still improving. So if this fight happens in 2 years from now or a year and a half from now, I might feel differently, but I'm going to take Ansaroff in this fight. It's super tough though.
Very tough. Most strawweight fights are pretty tough, but this one's very tough. We are disagreeing. Moving right into the next one. Sam Alvey versus Julian Marquez. Right into you, Dan.
I'll take this one. If you don't mind.
Not at all.
Yeah, so smiling Sam Alvey. He's been on the UFC roster for like over 7 years. I still remember his tough season, actually.
Yeah, I know, I love that season.
I forgot who the coaches were on that season, but I remember Sam Alvey on tough.
Love his attitude.
Yeah, always smiling. He has a win over Rashad Evans.
I know.
I mean, that's something he could always say. He could take that to the grave, That's
was it Rashad Evans' like last fight? What was it?
It was one of his last fights. Yeah, it wasn't prime Rashad Evans.
No.
But yeah, but recently it hasn't been looking so hot. He lost 4 in a row to Lil Nog, Jimmy Crute, Kilton Abreu, and Ryan Spann. The Ryan Spann was a split decision. Then a draw to Daun Jung, who really beat on Alvey in the 3rd round. It was a competitive fight though. In the fight, like overall, it was just like Jung was basically just chasing Alvey around while Alvey was just kind of countering, and I gave all the control to Jung,
right?
But Alvey landed a little bit more due to his counter striking abilities.
Okay, that's fair.
But he really has a tendency to just have his just back up against the cage, and just fight from.
Don't want that.
And Julian Marquez is a pressure fighter himself. He loves to he loves to turn. He loves to just walk his opponents down type deal. So it might be a similar type fight.
Mhm.
Um, I think he took this fight on short notice after his comeback win over Maki Pitolo, Coconut Bombs.
Speaking of bombs.
Um, Julian Marquez has a hell of a chin. Um, we can both agree there. And if this fight just turns into just throwing leather, I'm gonna take Marquez in this fight all day
Right.
because of that chin and his power.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, he missed 2 years of action also, and then just made his comeback.
Mhm.
Um, and had that he made his comeback and had a great comeback in that fight against Coconut Bombs. He was
Yeah.
down 2 rounds and pulled off a choke with like 40 seconds left to go. That was
Cool.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, after watching the tape, I'm gonna take Marquez. He's like it basically Alvy's tendencies play right into Marquez's strengths. Um, Marquez is gonna try to walk him down and put the pressure on him, and definitely and hit him. You know,
Yeah.
just pressure him against the cage, maybe some clinching. Um, both are durable ass guys, so it's not like I don't think this fight necessarily gets finished. But
Mhm.
if it does get finished, I think Marcus is the one to finish him.
Right.
Like 90% chance.
Okay.
Like if there is a finish in this fight, 90% chance it's because Marquez finishes Alvin. I think Marquez pressures Alvin to like a 29-28 decision because his gas tank is something to keep in mind.
Right.
Like in the Pitolo fight, they were both just absolutely drained in the third round, but that's because they went at it for two. But still, I'm gonna take Marquez overall.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, Dan. Smiling Sam, UFC legend, but 0-4-1 his last five. His last two fights were so close. I feel for the guy a little bit, but he's taken on Julian Marquez, 3-1 in the UFC. Recent comeback after a 3-year suspension. But he does have a huge Marquez. This is has a huge hole in his game. He's been taken down 5 times, 4 times, and 4 times in his last 3 fights. But that shouldn't play much into all in this fight. Smiling Sam likes to keep it on the feet, hasn't recorded a takedown in 6 fights, and has 16% takedown accuracy. I'm going to agree with Dan. I'm going with Marquez in this one. Tough for me to say. I really am a fan of Sam Alves, but it's Julian Marquez for sure in this. I really like him. It's set up nice for him too. It's
Oh hell
not like
yeah!
he's going to get taken down like he did 5 times by Maki Pitolo. He's got good jujitsu. Don't get me wrong, but you don't want to get taken down 5 times, especially if you're going to decision a lot. Yeah, but both agreeing, right, Dan? Julian Marquez.
Julian Marquez all day.
All right, moving right into the next one. Kyle Dawkins versus Alishab Kazirev. Is that how you're saying it?
Um,
Alishab Kashirev. That's how I'm saying it.
Aliaska,
Kasirev.
yeah.
Kazirev. That's what I'm saying.
Just call him Cobb.
Yeah, Cobb over here. I know Kyle's brother, Kyle Dawkins' brother Chris, is being talked about a lot at heavyweight right now, and
he's not gonna. I don't think he's a high level. I think he's.
Oh, he is. He is. He's making some noise in that heavyweight division, and I think he's top 10.
He is top 10, but I think he reached his peak.
No, he's got time. He's got a lot of room to grow. But Kyle Dawkins, in my opinion, is actually a far better, well-rounded mixed martial artist. He's 2-1 in the UFC, only losing to Brendan Allen on a couple of days' notice. He's got a nice stand-up, very active, utilizes his jab a lot, and he's lanky, so it keeps his appointment at reach. Also has a really high-level submission game. He's taken on Kazayev, who's making his UFC debut after a Contender Series win and holds a perfect 13-0 MMA record. I'm already a fan of him because he beat up Rusumir Palhares by some vicious grounded pounds a couple of fights ago. and that guy's a total fucking dick. So I love to see him get beat up.
Yeah, he holds submissions in for an extra second or two.
Yeah, he wants to fucking hear your bones pop. But Kazayev has really heavy hands and is a nasty grappler. I think Dawkins is a tough matchup for him, though. Much taller, lankier, dangerous off his back. This fight's very close, as I keep saying. I gotta stop saying because it's annoying. But I am gonna go with Dawkins in this one. But get ready for a fucking great fight.
You have the stats up?
I got the stats up. Yep.
How many times was he knocked? How many times was Kyle Dawkins knocked down in his fight against Brendan Allen?
He was knocked down one time.
Okay, yeah, and he got rocked a couple other times.
But Dawkins did get 3 takedowns on him too. So
yeah, no, he came back and came back in that fight with some takedowns later for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But what's it called? I'm gonna disagree with you.
Okay.
What's it called? And Chris Dawkins, real quick. I'll throw a little tangent on him. I think Chris Dawkins is an intriguing heavyweight to watch, but he's not a top level heavyweight by any means, in my opinion. He's not going to beat a Surreal Gone or anybody in the top 5 for that matter. When him and Tom Aspinall seems like that's a fight to make soon. I think Tom Aspinall has the edge in everywhere in that fight. Put it that way. But we're talking about his brother here. So that's a fight we can disagree on later on down the line. Maybe. Actually, who knows? Maybe you'll agree with me and take Aspinall because
maybe you'll agree with me.
You would take Dawkins over Aspinall?
Yeah, I'll ride with my boy Dawkins all day.
Damn, you're crazy though. I love it though. What's it called? Yeah, so Krasayev is undefeated. If I'm not mistaken, he's got former M1 experience. M1 mixed fighter, yeah. So, and he's 13-0. He's finished his last fight, both fights, and three of his last 4 fights have gone under a minute. He finishes fights.
He does.
And he is very well rounded, as most of these Russians are.
For sure.
What's it called? Where's they're fighting? This fight is at 185. Yep. At 5'9", Krasayev definitely has the disadvantage when it comes to height.
Right.
Because Dawkins is 6'3", you know.
He's a big guy.
That's a pretty major discrepancy.
Yeah.
But there's only a 2-inch reach disadvantage for Krasayev. So when it comes to reach, it's not too bad. But the height definitely is a factor to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Krasayev knocked out. Did he? Yeah, he knocked out Rusumir Palhares, right?
I believe it was a sub. No, it was vicious ground and pound. That's what it was.
Yeah, and then the other guy he subbed.
Right.
And this guy's super well rounded, and he's another Russian, crazy Russian prospect to watch. He was able to get out of one of Rusumir Palhares' patented heel hooks. He was able to slip away from one of those. Pretty impressive. He's a southpaw, loves throwing kicks to the legs, body, head, you know.
Yeah.
Should be interesting to see the stand-up in this. Very good grappling game as well. He's super well-rounded, 30 years old, undefeated, 13-0 record. And welcome to the big leagues, you know, Kyle Dawkins is a test for him.
For sure.
What is Kyle Dawkins? Is he 1-1 in the UFC? Something like that?
He is 1-1 in the UFC. Yep. Only losing that Brendan Allen on that 2-day notice or whatever.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Brendan Allen. the Brendan Allen fight, he got dropped in that fight, like plain and simple. And Krasayev has got some power. You know, he put away Rusumir Palhares fairly easily. Daukaus is gonna probably try to take the fight to the ground. I'm assuming that's like his biggest strength. But Krasayev, I think, will have the takedown defense to stop it and maybe impose his own takedowns himself. And definitely, I think he has the edge on the feet. Krasayev could be a really big problem in the division moving forward. He can go 3 rounds. He's gone 3 rounds multiple times, and he definitely finishes. He loves finishing fights. That's one thing that's an absolute fact. Daukaus is always game, though. He's never been stopped in his MMA career, but I think Krasayev really puts on a show, and if he's able to finish Daukaus, it could really gain some traction for Krasayev moving forward. So I'm going to take Krasayev in this fight, fairly one-sided.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, for sure. I totally see where you're coming from for that. I mean, they're both guys I think are really high level. I love this fight. You know, I might not even bet on this fight. I just want to see it. But yeah, we're gonna disagree. I'm going Daukaus. Dan's going Krasayev, and we're gonna move right into the next one: Arnold Allen versus Sadiq Youssef.
Battle of the winning streaks.
Yes, 5-0 and 7-0. You want to do this one, Dan?
Yeah, I'll do this one so you could get the main event.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right. So I'll start off with Arnold Allen. So Arnold Allen has a 16-1 record overall. He had definitely his biggest win in his career is Gilbert Melendez in 2019, and then he beat Nick Lentz in 2020. But he hasn't fought in
over a year.
They tried to link him up with Jeremy Stevens, but the fight got scrapped.
Might would have been good.
Anyway, yeah, he's a TriStar product. Statistically, if you look at the stats in the Gilbert Melendez fight, he battered Melendez. But going back and watching the fight, Melendez really hurt him at the beginning of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
He defeated Nick Lentz in his last fight, another veteran.
I love Nick Lentz, and I still think he has it, but his eyes went. His eyes got fucked up. He can't fight anymore. But I still think physically he had what it takes to like win UFC fights.
Yeah, I could agree with that. This is he's a southpaw as well. He's got sharp stand up and some great combos. Really good technical striker. Just I think he's TriStar and somewhere else he fights out of. Somewhere else like pretty good.
Who, Arnold Allen you're talking about?
Yeah, I think it might just be TriStar.
BKK Fighters is his primary gym.
But he definitely trains at TriStar as well.
Yes, he does. Also TriStar. That's like a Welsh UK gym, the BKK one. You know, that's for like his. What is he? Is he well? No, he's from England. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's the Brit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 27 years old. Like I said, the combined, both these fighters have 14 consecutive wins. That's pretty impressive. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Considering most of their fights on both sides are in the UFC. Those wins. So, like,
right.
The winner of this fight is going to get a major boost.
Yeah.
Sadiq Youssef has lost once in his MMA career. Arnold Allen has lost once in his UFC career. It's another like I said, the MMA the UFC matchmakers did such a good job because this is such a great matchup.
This matchup is beautiful.
Yeah, like let's see who. I'll go into Sadiq Yusuf real
Yeah,
quick. These Nigerian fighters, man, they're really coming up and
they're growing.
really making a name for themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
His striking is fun to watch, and like I said, the Nigerian rise is a real thing. Um, High level striking, high level counter striking. Um, he has a KO win over Gabriel Benitez, who's definitely no slouch. Um, like I said, I'll say for a third time, there's the Dagestan takeover, and now I think there's the African takeover too.
Yeah, dude. Africa
It,
is on the rise.
it is on the rise, and that is
MMA,
awesome. I can't wait
amazing.
till the UFC builds PIs in
Yeah,
Africa so we can get so much talent out of there.
it's crazy. It's really on that, like you said, the Middle East, not the Middle East, Eastern Europe for me, I think at least. And I guess the Middle East too, and Africa. They're like producing these products of MMA fighters that is just like
Like
we've like
Georgia, like the
yeah,
Chechens, like
yep.
all of them. Like it's crazy. Um, but yeah, Sadiq Yusuf is like he's like another pressure fighter. He fights with like incredible pressure and confidence. You could literally tell from his you can tell from his what's it called? His body language, how just relaxed and confident he is when he fights. Um, he's still improving on his grappling, so takedown defense I think will be key.
Mm-hmm.
If Arnold Allen decides to maybe try to take this fight to the ground. And another thing Sadiq Yusuf does well is he like if he gets hit pretty hard, he recovers very quickly and just regains composure and resets very well. Um, yeah, so both of these guys are super impressive, and both of these guys are guys making like a strong rise, like both just climbing at 145. Um, there's a reason they put this fight in the co-main. They're trying to grow the traction for both of them, and definitely whoever wins it. I've never really got bet against Sadiq Yusuf, so I don't think that's going to change here. But this is a really close and interesting
Mm-hmm.
bout. It's definitely I think this is the closest fight on the card, and I could see this being fight of the night.
Yeah. Oh, dude, fight of the night potential through the roof on this fight.
Yeah,
Through the roof. This is going to be fireworks. This is the fireworks of the night. Possibly. But are you good, Dan? You taking
yeah,
these?
I'm done.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. Arnold Allen, like you said, undefeated, 7-0 in the UFC, hasn't fought in over a year, has a plus 1.19 striking differential, 67% striking defense, and 52% takedown accuracy, and 76% takedown defense. Totally well rounded. He's taken on Sadiq Yusuf, who holds a perfect undefeated UFC record, 5-0. Yusuf is mostly kind of strictly a stand-up fighter. He flaunts a +2 striking differential and averages over 6 strikes per minute. Um, Arnold has a much more developed, well-rounded game than Yusuf, though, because he utilizes takedowns and grappling. I think if this fight was strictly a stand-up battle, I wouldn't know who to choose. But the factoring in Allen's grappling game, I think puts him a little bit, gives him the edge. So I'm gonna roll with Allen in this one. But whoever wins this fight is top 10 caliber, is going to be ranked in the top 10. I think it's 11-13. Lot on
Yeah,
the lot big. It's big right now to be in the top 10. It's a big money change. It's a lot going on. But I'm gonna go with Arnold Allen.
yeah. I mean, Sadiq Yusuf can get taken down, but he gets up very quickly.
Right.
He's good at that. And he's still improving at that. So I think if he is able to stuff the takedowns, I think he has I think he has the advantage in striking. But this, like I said, this fight, I would just want them to just stand and have a war.
Yeah, I
But
know
that's
that'd
just
be
being
sick.
selfish.
That'd be
Checking
sick.
how the hair is looking.
Yeah, it's good. It's
um, but yeah, um, tough fight.
tough fight. I can't wait to watch it. We're disagreeing. Dan's
My
gonna go.
hair is so itchy, bro.
You gotta get some. What do you even do? You can't wash it, right?
I can shower. I just can't wash my hair, so I'm only gonna have this in for like a couple days.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah, just for funsies.
if we
What?
cornrows, I'll get the Sean O'Malley cornrows after let's get that 100 subs this week.
Yeah, 100.
Come on, give us the subs. I'll literally go to a salon and I'll get the Sean O'Malley. I'll get the Sean O'Malley special for our next week's recording.
I would love to see you in a salon. That'd be hilarious. I just can't picture it.
I don't even know what to do without a salon. I need to ask friends or something.
You're gonna have like one of those big like bowls that they put on their head that the ladies wear, the old ladies wear. And I don't know what I'm talking about. We're disagreeing. Dan's going Yusuf. I'm going Allen. Moving right into the main event: Marvin Vettori versus Big Mouth Kevin Holland. Marvin Vettori is so massively underrated. To me, in my opinion, it's scary. The guy gave Adesanya the closest fight ever in the UFC at 185, and Adesanya is the king of that division. He runs shit there.
I mean, yeah, but that's because he got like the takedowns and stuff like that.
Part of the game. What do you mean?
Yeah, but Adesanya was a lot greener then. He's a way, way, way better takedown defense guy now.
I still think that Marvin Vettori gives Adesanya the best fight. If there's a rematch, which I think there should be, I think Adesanya gives him another fucking close fight. Very close fight.
I mean, I could agree with that.
Highly of Marvin Vettori, though. He's great everywhere the fight goes, but more importantly, he has one of the most killer instincts in the UFC, like hands down. Since losing to Stylebender back in 2018 via split decision, it looks like it's really ignited something in him. And he's gone on a 4-fight winning streak, all one-sided contest against top competition. Kevin Holland does have a 7-inch reach advantage. However, he did have a 6-inch reach advantage on Brendan Allen and ended up getting subbed in the second round.
Kevin Holland did?
Yes.
Yeah, but then again, that like I'd say like Kevin Holland has made strides in improvement since then. Specifically his
fighters that we mentioned have been making strides.
Yeah, but like he got his black belt under Travis Lutter. Like I think he's been really like Travis Lutter is one of the best American BJJ guys out there. Can you agree?
Yeah, sure, I'll give you that.
So like, I mean, having Travis Lutter as his guy, I mean, it's just he's like I get he got controlled by Brunson because Brunson is looking like a completely different fighter now. He's like revitalized his career.
Oh, for sure.
We're straying off topic. Keep going.
Yeah, he's killing it. But also, I think Vettori vitalized his career too. It's kind of a similar thing. They both went on 4-fight winning streaks. I think Vittori's got this one. Big Mouth came off that loss to Brunson. He's coming off that loss to Brunson and faced a ton of criticism in that. Like he really got some hate. He went from being a fighter that everyone loved to like him getting like a lot of hate for that fight. The way he handled it, people didn't like it. Like him.
Because there was no urgency, you know? Like, it seemed like he was perfectly fine with taking an L in that fight. And
very weird.
I don't want to see that, man. Like, you know, people had money on you. Like, you know, people threw a solid amount of money because and not to mention his sparring partners and everybody else he works with, they might have felt a little insulted by him doing that.
Yeah.
Dana White mentioned that he thinks that he might have suffered like a mental breakdown in that fight. And that's the way he used it. Like everybody has their mental breakdowns and everybody handles it differently, you know? Kevin Holland talked to Khabib the whole time and was like, help me with the wrestle, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. Were you done, by the way?
No, yeah, you're totally good.
Yeah. So I agree with you on all the Vettori, like almost all the Vettori points. Like Vettori's an absolute stud, super well-rounded.
He's crazy. He's just crazy, man.
Good, like great striking. Can take the fight down. He's solid there as well. Like he's like he destroyed the Joker. Like destroyed the Joker.
He did. And I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. But I think Kevin Holland has like you guys are I'm gonna get some hate for this, but fucking this is a much better matchup for Kevin Holland than what's it called? Than Derek Brunson.
Yeah.
Much, much better. Vettori isn't the wrestler that Brunson is. Brunson is
That's true.
A level wrestling,
Yep.
you know?
Yep, that's his thing.
What's it called? Like he just he matches up better with Vettori. And I honestly think if this when the fight's on the feet, Kevin Holland's kind of got the edge.
He's got some nasty striking.
His striking is fucking nasty, bro.
And 70 advantage.
Yeah, like he's got an 81-inch reach. Like that's just so nice to have. Vettori,
I think he's got
like 74-inch, you know, like it's average for the division. Kevin Holland is just
lanky as hell.
Yeah, super lanky. But another issue is that Vettori's gonna have the size on him, you know? This fight, I'm gonna say fuck it. I'm gonna get hate for it, but I'm gonna take Kevin Holland because he's a huge underdog and he's like on like the wrong, like definitely all the momentum's against him right now, and he's got nothing to lose in this fight. So I feel like he kind of goes out there, talks his shit, maybe takes it down a notch, and fucking who knows, dude? Like,
no, dude, we don't know.
Maybe, just maybe, stops the Italian dream. Dude. Like, he is powerful. Kevin Holland has powerful punches. Longer. It's weird. Like, he's one of the rare breeds where super long and lanky, one punch knockout power. He's got that.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm gonna go against the grain here and scratch that other one that I said was my biggest reach of the night. I'm reaching hard on two fights. Like, don't get me wrong, I could be very, very wrong in this fight, and all credit to Marvin Vettori. He's fighting out of King's MMA. Like, they're great, you know. Like, they got Benil Dariush, like just RDA, just so many people. I don't even Ariana Lipsky, Giga Chikot, like there's so many. I don't even want to go into it. But yeah, I got Kevin Holland. I'll take Kevin Holland on this just for the bet, you know? Like I feel like he could get this one done, and it would be super interesting. Like I tweeted this out. He's in a super interesting position because his stock just dropped significantly. Yeah. If he gets a win over the number 6th ranked fighter, his stock goes right back up there again.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. Then he can improve. What is Holland ranked? Do you have that?
What?
You know what Holland's ranked?
Where Holland's ranked?
Yeah.
Not exactly sure.
11. According to what am I looking at? Tapology, he says 11th. So that could bring him right back into the top 10 if he gets a win right now.
Yeah.
Which he desperately needs. But I am going to I'm gonna disagree, Dan. But I totally see where you're coming from. He's got those fucking hard hitting punches. He has punching power off his back that we saw against Jacare Souza.
Yeah, so you can see where I'm coming from. Obviously, it's a stretch. Like, most likely, Vettori wins.
Right.
But I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to say that Kevin Holland pulls this one out of his ass and goes back to being the fan favorite.
Dude, it's the fight game. We don't know what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're guessing.
Exactly. Well, not guessing, educated guessing.
Educated guess, yeah.
With a bunch of tape study.
Yeah, it's a sure thing. All these, but this is the first time we disagreed on a card like this in months.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see which one of us wins,
or if we both just do fucking shit.
Yeah, like we just split on everything.
Yeah, we both go 8-8.
Yeah.
I mean 8-16. How many fucking fights there are? We both feel there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
But that's the card.
That's the card.
I'm going Vettori. Dan's going Kevin Holland. Going to be a great fight. And yeah, that's gonna wrap up. What is this? Oh, UFC on ABC 2.
Yeah, channel channel 7 for
Yeah,
us.
I'm gonna for sure. Yeah, whatever ABC. It's gonna be on at noon.
Yeah,
Watch.
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Great way to spend it. Watch some fights.
Also, throw us a like, a subscription. Follow us on Twitter at No Brainer MMA.
Yeah, I'm active all the time. You can tweet
Yeah.
at me. I'll respond every time.
100%.
Connor's the editor. I'll be the guy that's bullshitting with you guys.
And you know what, Dan, what you do on Twitter is so unique. Because very few people on like accounts in general, not just MMA accounts, will like have conversations with you, but you'll like talk to people, you'll do everything, like it's really cool to see that.
I love interacting with the community.
Yeah, I know, and it's great to see, and it's very rare to see. That's what I just wanted to say. But yeah, I think you're doing a great job with that.
I mean, if we grow and we have 100,000 subs, I can't interact with everybody, but hey, be an OG, and I will continuously interact with you throughout everything.
For sure. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for us. I had a great card. This one ran really long, 15 fights this week. We're used to like those 10 fight cards with 15 fights, all of them good. I'm gonna be watching every single one of them. Yeah, Dan, you had anything else to say?
No.
All right.
Actually, yeah, subs, so then I could go Sugar Sean for the next podcast. I got this going for this one.
That'd be great.
So I'll go Sugar Sean for the next one. This
Yeah.
one's just poking out a little bit, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? But I can't wait for the Sugar Sean here. It's gonna be awesome.